Alright, it's been about 6 months since I turned that welder on and struck an arc. So as you can see, that's not the best weld in the world, but it's gonna do for this since it has no stress on it. And oh well, Jody, I'm not. So anyway, I'm gonna see if I can put these little arms here in there and see if that part works, and see where I go from there. Okay, it's starting to take shape now. I put the carriage bolt through here, and even though I cut a 1/4 inch slide and this is a 1/4 inch carriage bolt, I had to hit the flats up here a couple of times with the file, and I may actually have to hit it a couple more to actually make these things slide up and down the way I would want it to. And this little wing nut is not going to be on there. I don't have anything any better at the moment, but I'll probably pick up one of those little ratchet, well actually a couple of those little ratchet things off of eBay for a few bucks, and that way you can loosen it and tighten it and move these little arms, you know, wherever you want them easily. So let's see now, and it's starting to look like something anyway. So you'll have this. Now here at the top there will be a 1/4 inch hole go through the top on both, with the spacer going between it, and with the spacer also welded onto here. And this will also pivot because this round it will just be squeezed between this bar. So that's where we're at the moment. Now I need to take these arms off and put the 1/4 inch carriage hole through the arms here for the carriage bolt, and then I can probably take this over to the vise again and weld the carriage bolt to the plate. Carriage bolt to the plate. No, that's not correct at all. I would want to weld this spacer. This spacer will want to be welded to this plate. Yeah. Okay. And it seemed like I had to do some milling for something. What am I milling? The slot. Yes. Okay. I'm going to find this will not allow me to cut the depth as deep as the commercial bolt that I have on the other grinding wheel. So I'm going to probably take a piece of flat bar, weld it to the bottom side, and then I can mill a slot that will go through this, and perhaps through the other one too. I have to check my measurements on it. Okay, I've cut a piece of square bar, and this will go on the bottom of this rest. And this is one of the few pieces that are critical. It needs to be square with the sides going across, because there will be a notch cut in this piece, and the notch is something that you may be running a device through the notch, and you would want it to cut square. So obviously if it's crooked, then obviously you're going to put a crooked edge on your piece that you're working on. A quick look at the commercial one over here. Yeah, and the notch right here running along this to be square to this. And let's see, here's one thing right here. This is something I made years ago. It has a slide this out. this has a diamond tip on it, and I could actually put it in here and run it across my grinding wheel and grind that to a very flat, straight edge. So yeah, you would want the square piece to be square with the size to give a square cut. Thank you. All right, there is the base. I really don't know what you would call this, but this is the piece that will be the rest of the top for the work pieces to lay on. And I know, since I have welded this across, all the way across here and here, that there will have to be a little bit of a draw when you weld across a piece. It's only natural that you will cup it. It will draw. So even though this is very thick steel, there will be a very slight draw to it. And I don't want that. I'm going to put it on the mill and use some type of mill head to remove any of the draw and make it a flat item. I'm trying to decide, but first of all, I made this square piece a little bit bigger, and it extends off the edge just a little bit on each side, and I'm going to go ahead and mill that and knock it off flat. I think that's one of the first things I'm going to do. So that's next on my list. Okay, there she is. If you'll notice, right about here to here, it seems to be a little bit of a low spot, but there's nothing you can feel, no kind of a line, but yet you can see something. I think that's probably way less than a thousandth, or maybe a 10,000th or whatever. There's almost nothing there, so I'm certainly not going to attempt to put it back in the vise and mill another few thousands off of it. I don't think this is going to have any effect on it. Where's my bore going to be? I'm going to have to bore a half-inch trough across it, and that will be pretty much it, other than this will probably be too much meat in this thing right here, so I will, once I get my groove milled in here, I'm going to probably take a few thousandths off of this and remove some of this meat. That's way too much. I don't want any more than I have to, because this is where my This is where my round bushing is going to be welded. Too much stuff on my table though. It's going to be welded right here, so I'm going to remove as much as I can to keep this down as low as I can. Making my first pass, I'm going to take a very small cut, first couple of passes, just to make a little groove, and then I'll probably increase the depth of the cut a little bit. It's going to be a total of a ½ inch deep. Okay, I've actually got to stop and do some real thinking now. So, a super bozo has appeared. I hate it when that happens, but oh well, it's there. When I was thinking on the fly of making this bar just take the place of this, I just went ahead and rounded these corners and put the hole in it. But not thinking it does not fit. Now, you know, this was the size, this fit. Now if I mill it off, more than likely it's going to be right there to get it flat. The arms are actually going to be still. That's these rounded arms here are actually going to protrude up. What I thought was about the end of the project, it looks like I got a problem. I think I may just go back to the original plan before I created a super bozo and just cut some of this down and put a groove in it and set this on top of it, and then that will be probably more better. But that'll probably be something to sleep on and something to take care of tomorrow. It's about time to call it a quits for the day. Alright, we're back to making a 50,000 cut. It's much better to throw the chips to the back. Alright, now I have tacked the spacer to my rest piece, and the next thing is as soon as it cools, because it's a little on the warm side now, I'm going to mill down each side of this spacer to the bottom of this hole. Now there'll be a little bit of clearance for those bars, because I radius the round end on both those bars just by hand on a belt sander, so they're not a perfectly good arc, but I would just try to keep it from hitting. But if I mill this down not deep enough to go anywhere near the slot, but just deep enough to go to the end of this slot, well, it certainly look better, because you don't want to see that. And the arms have a little bit of space here for clearance, so when you rotate this, they won't hit. But we're going to wait around about 30 minutes or so and go get something to drink. It's probably a little over 100 out here, and it's time for something to drink, and that needs to cool. Okay, catch you later. Well, that is pretty much the project. There is the base. The only problem I see is this is a little bit long, and I have it raised up a little higher than what I want it. I can lower it down like this, which is fine. But there won't be enough swing, because this commercial one here has got the same problem. But I didn't make this one. I did make this one. So I feel better about changing it if I need to. But for right now, it's going to be pretty much used as it is. There's really not anything wrong with this other than I need a couple of holes right there to mount it to the table. I need ratcheting wrenches, nuts instead of the wing nuts, and other than that, that will be a go. This is a chisel holder. Yeah. Put the chisels in there, and you can slide them straight across and get it straight. I'm a little tight. That little sandpaper eases it off, and slide it across here. I have a if I need to run this little sandpaper little sandpaper works wonders. It will slide, but it doesn't slide the way it needs to. No big deal. So yeah, this is that's about it, folks. Let's see. Can I turn this on here? Oh God, that's ugly, folks. Oh, you don't want to come that way, huh? Okay. All right, everybody. This is set this thing back here. This is multi-craftsman, and that's the end of my project. Thank you for watching. I hope there's something in this project that you can use, and hey, may God bless.